Welcome back to the On Switch, where we target valuable information for those out there that trying to join this community of ours. We feel as though ownership is key. We got a good guest today. Good friend of mine, grew up together, man. I can former high school star, former college star, now basketball AAU mobile. My man Bobby Maze, man.
What's going on, man? Good to see you, Slim. Proud of you. Yeah, glad to be here.
What's going on, man? How your travels was, man?
Travels was good, man. I was excited to come in, man, and after hearing what you was doing, it was an honor for me. After growing up with you, playing high school ball with you, and now see you doing something like this, I said, man, nobody hadn't been able to get me on their podcast yet. I declined them all, but I'm gonna do my man first.
Yeah, that's what's up. So let's just tap into you growing up in the DMV area, how everything been as as a youngin playing Boys and Girls Club. When you start playing Boys and Girls Club first?
Yep. So for me, Coach Horace, by the name of Horace, Coach E. He played, he's very instrumental in my career. He was the first guy to give me a chance when I was younger. I want to say about 11, 12, I played a lot of Pop Warner football. And then my mom moved from Southeast to Suitland. And then I played down there with District Heights, down there at Rec. Funny story, running into the wall, all different type of things. But, he was big on defense and heart and tough. And I had that. I didn't have the skills. We had guys like Abdullah Jallo that went on to college. We had a guy, Travis Bowman, Navarro Bowman, brother that at the time was elite. We had Big Nose Dana, you know what I mean, dunking at a young age. So
Dana was dunking about 13.
Yeah, he was. He was banging. So we had a lot of guys that was well ahead of me skill-wise, but the one thing he taught me was like how to go hard, how to work hard, and he instilled, I would say that's where I really got my toughness on the court was down there at that Rec, down there at District Heights, and E and his brother Rome and that whole family. They were just, good with giving back to the community. And I think that was one of the things instrumental to me. And then I went on my freshman year at Suitland, played JV. I never forget watching guys like Delonte West and Eddie Basson as seniors, guys like that. And then my sophomore year,
we did play against Delonte West.
We did. There was the game. So then my sophomore year, Coach Woods left and Massenberg came in, and that's when I think that was been your senior year, and things started to change for me. They opened up that run and shoot gym, and that was
we were locked in.
Changed my life.
We used to sleep up there. That's when Wayne was Wayne used to run the joint.
Wayne?
Shout out to Wayne too, man. Big Wayne, man. Good
Big
guy,
Wayne had the drill twist.
With the old school.
Yeah. That was my man. He was is Wayne, is he from Forestville? Forest Creek? That's us.
I see him sometime around.
Shout out to Wayne too, because at that time I say, man, we didn't have no money. Our parents didn't have money to pay $12 a day
every day
to get in that gym. And I be thinking now with Uber Eats, like with kids, I'm like, yo, one meal would be $40. I'm telling them it's no way our parents could have
did that. So paying for gas and the food. Yeah. So Wayne was he's a big part in the community. He helped a lot because he played with Red's brother, Reds. And Wayne game was nasty when they was coming up.
It was. Wayne game was unbelievable. And then I know how I got tight was Wayne by a guy by the name of T. They call him T from Forest Creek, Tierre. And him and Wayne was super close. And Tierre used to always come and run and shoot and be like, man, look out. We used to jump that gate and run on in. And so run and shoot, honestly, I tell people for 24 hours a day, a lot of basketball players from this area wouldn't be who they were today if it wasn't for that gym.
I remember playing against Chris Whitney in there, and I look at, how like some people you look at on TV, oh man, I give him the business, this and that. Man, Chris Whitney was tough.
He used to be in there. He had a crib, man. He was like that. Man. You had Chris Whitney. You had Rod Strickland, you had Joe Forte.
Yeah.
One of the guys that at the time, I didn't know because they say he went to GW, was a guy by the name of Chris Monroe.
Yeah.
He used to play with the weight vest on, and that man
yeah.
barbecued me at a young age.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
It was a rack up, man.
And so you had a lot of those guys at that level, and then you had a lot of guys.
Your man White Chocolate.
White Chocolate, you know what I was getting ready to say. The guys,
Shaq,
Baby Shaq,
yeah,
Frank McQueen, Greg Jones, Pep Tyson, and Pep Father was nice. The old school. So you know, at that time you had you play on the main court, or if you lose, they call it overseas, or you're in the G League, but you wanted to be. See, we was from that original group when they had a list.
Right.
You remember that with the computers, with the list. You put your name on it. Because it was that many people
wanting to get on.
Wanting to get on.
And if you lose, you might not.
You're done. And that's one of the things I think the youngest don't understand is a lot of them, if you ask them about next or you know, saying I got next, I had next, they don't even know what that is, or 21 or 33. And I'm like, yo, those games of 21 and 33 is how I learn how to box out. It's how I learn how to break a press because you got everybody chasing you. It's really those environments that I appreciate now. And I wish that the younger generation had that.
Locked in with it.
I tell people all the time, like they say, why you so careful with your stuff? I'm like, run and shoot. Man, everybody done got a pair of shoes stolen, something. You put it down, cell phone.
Something. Whole locker get broken into in the back. All that. So let's get back to the youth. So some of the things. So you'd have been able to play at an elite level at college with Tennessee. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, man, you know, I can say I was fortunate and blessed to play for Bruce Pearl, one of the best coaches in college basketball. You know, was a part of taking the team to Sweet 16 and Elite 8, which we lost by 1 to Michigan State. Still think about that game whenever it's tournament time, just 1 point away from making it to that next level, which I wanted to make it to that Final Four to play against Nolan Smith at Duke so bad. But I say my experience at Tennessee was great, you know, just for me coming from here and then going there. I tell people all the time, when I first thought of Tennessee, I thought of Pat Summitt and Candace Parker, because
that was what was going on.
That was what was going on. And then I get there, and it's 108,000 at the football game, and coming to find out Peyton Manning went there, Eric Burries, Albert Haynesworth. Like, it is a historic, like, it is a football mega. But, you know, for us coming from this area, is Georgetown, Duke, Carolina, Syracuse, Maryland. You know what I mean? Like, it's like regions. And out there in the South, it's totally different. But I learned a lot. It's helped me become who I am today, and that experience of being around a whole bunch of Southern people and how they do things is totally different. To this day, in my bag, I got a checkbook. People laugh, but I'm like, out there, if they want something, they'll pull out a check and write a check. You know what I mean? I learned that from them. Here it's like, nobody check you trying to scam.
A little slower out there. But I mean, I understand. I definitely understand it because I move around a lot and I travel a lot. So when you do that, you see different things. You get to learn different ethnics of how people doing things. You know what I mean?
You see that, and for me, you know, just being a part of a team that was one of the greatest teams in Tennessee history, especially played with a lot of great players like Wayne Chisholm and Scottie Hobson, and playing, you know, Tyler Smith, and playing with those guys have really, you know, impacted my life in a big way. Just coming from here and then having 23,000 spook at every one of your games, you know. A lot of people say, like, how did you perform under pressure? And I'm like, you know, a lot of it comes back from the childhood of playing down the farms or playing in the pit. It's like those leagues where people heckling you. So it's just on a way bigger level and scale.
And then coming from the center, getting fouled was like, we don't call it.
No, you can't call it. You don't get fouled. Either you foul or get out. I'm gonna give you 3.
You jammed your finger. You played through that, man. We played through pain, man.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
Pain is like, that's why I tell people, is like a lot of those and ones. It's not all the way about. It's nothing you can work on. It's just something you have to go through. And when you come down from a place like the Rec where there is absolutely no cause and you can't call it, it's either you're gonna learn how to finish through the contact or don't.
Not only that, if you're going that way, you gotta learn how to stop after you make a layup, because the bleachers right there.
Yeah, I told you I ran into the wall.
The bleachers, we run the sideways. The bleachers right there. You gotta learn how to lay up and stop all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the key to everything. You know, one guy that played now, and I watch him, and he got a good game. And you know what I say? You know what? He could have lasted back then with us, Brunson.
Oh yeah, Jalen Brunson. I like. Yeah, he could have.
Yeah,
because he physical. Yeah. He bump. Yeah, he take the bump. He tough. He defends. He's gritty. Yeah. He'll get in there and box out. Like he just has that toughness and physicality that you need.
He got that factor. He got definitely.
And that's one of the things, honestly, that helped me become successful. Like Bruce Pearl was the same way. It was all about, can you get the 50-50 ball? So if it's me and you, are you gonna dive on the floor, or are you gonna stick your arms out there and reach?
And I can contest for that for you. That's what put you outside and put you above the rest, because you would do things. I was like, man, like when we were playing high school, I got to the point where I chose different ways to make money. I already had my mind set what I was going to do. You know what I mean? And basketball wasn't it. Like I lost a love for the game. You know what I mean? So basketball wasn't it, but it was like I'm in 12th grade. Let me go ahead and play, man. You know what I mean? They give me an opportunity to go ahead and play, but my heart wasn't there no more. You know what I mean? And I would see you go for shit. I was like, man, this nigga crazy. Yeah. They going for loose balls. He's scrapping. But I have to remember, you in 10th grade, playing with varsity with us, and that's pushing you ahead. You get what I'm saying?
Right. And a lot of people, like I always say, the life that we live, people lie about. Like, bro, real talk, I never forget watching you. Come in at halftime to a game, and nobody don't know. Like I'm like, and then at halftime you come through the back door, come in, boom, like with your uniform, and I'm like, yo, like you know what I mean. But this is something that people wouldn't even understand or believe. Like talk about, like I just always wanted to know, like what was you?
Because at that point in time, paying my mother rent was more important. You know what I mean, and that's what I had to do. So even though I love basketball, I had to sacrifice. I had niece and nephew. It was coming up. I used to go to sleep hungry sometimes. I wasn't gonna let them do it, and that's before I even had kids. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of that came from that, man. Like, and a lot of people didn't understand it, but Bird understood it one day. He took me home from practice, right? And he was like, "Man, I'm about to take you home." I'm like, "Nah, no, you ain't. Take me to the block." You know what I mean? He's like, "Look." Like, man, I'm changing while I'm in the car with him. Like, nigga, I ain't worried about to wear this little our little sweatsuit we used to wear on the away game.
We like, all one job.
Yeah, like, I already had my clothes changed. I gotta go straight to the block, man. You know what I mean? He like, but it's late. You gotta go to school tomorrow. I'm like, oh, this is what I gotta do. You know what I mean? But and things like that I don't usually talk about, but I put it out there because these are things that need for people out there to hear.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's going through
it, and for them to know that there's another way. You know what I'm saying? You might go through your bumps and you know what I'm saying, the roads, but you learn from it. You know what I mean?
And then at that time, you know, one of the good things that I learned about now, and it's good to hear, at that time, of course, you was put in a situation where you had to do what you had to do. So it wasn't nothing to really talk about. But what I'm saying is none of your teammates knew what you was going through. Nobody, you get what I'm saying?
So
like
I used to talk to you and Charles. You know what I mean? It'd be sometimes we supposed to be at study hall. I'd be like, yeah, I'm out there in the car. Because you remember I was driving. Yeah. I ain't have a license to the third. I'm coming with different cars, caddies, all that.
Yeah.
And I was buying my cars myself. So anyway, I ain't talking about that. Anyway, I might be we supposed to be in study hall. I might be outside drinking my wet.
Yeah.
And you looking like, yo, what's that, yo? Like, yo, you can't get nothing. You already goofy, man. Don't you go there sipping on something in there tripping, yeah. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that was back then, but at the same time, like there's a lot of things I wish I'd have did different, but I didn't. And you know, but that what made me the man I am today.
Yeah,
you know
and that's the beauty about it, is like looking at all of that, hearing that now, and to just see, you know, where you are today. That's what it's all about. It's not about where you start. It's about where you finish. And adversity builds character. I tell people that all the time. Exactly. You have to go through that adversity, no matter who you are, what you're doing, to find out who you are and what road that you on now. But like I said, man, kudos to them times.
To those times we ain't got to live no more. So to you, things that you learned on the court that still plays a pivotal role in the things you have to do off the court that you can tell some youngers that's coming up that's listening to you?
The main thing is just really about being on time, being a good listener, and really just being a good person. Like like God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth because you're supposed to listen twice as much as you talk. A lot of times you gotta be able to take constructive criticism because you could think about it. Even the greatest in the game, you know, I played AAU with Ty Lawson and Kevin Durant, and even to this day, when I talk to KD recently, man, this summer I'm gonna work on this. Well, man, you almost said $1 billion. You done did all this. It's like you never there.
So when I see KD talk about the things that he talk about, like being like basketball is all he love and being a student to the game, even at the age that he is now, like a lot of people don't understand how well I do know KD. Like he lived underneath of me around Hilltop. We used to be on the court, it'd be raining. You know, back then we used to work on our game. We used to run whole court 1-on-1. That's how you worked on your game. If you're going down this way, you use the right hand. You come down the other way, you use the left hand. And he was always a little tall. So he's like 11, 12. Man, this nigga on the court, man. Every day. Every day. You get what I mean? So when I see interviews and he say like, I'm a student of the game, I just love basketball, like I'm like, yeah, he really loves the game.
No, he do. Yeah. Like I didn't see him at no parties when we was younger. All of my memories with KD, especially from a young, it's all basketball. Even his first couple years in the league, it was we go to Berry Farms. We work out in the morning, then we have a game at Berry Farms. Then at night we go to Pitts or we playing at University of Maryland or Howard. Like everything was basketball the whole day. Like people, you think about it, it's like, yo, I couldn't tell you where a girl came in the picture because those days and once him, Beasley, you know, Nolan Smith, like it was basketball, Cliff. Right. You know what I mean? Like that's all we did the whole entire day. Now, you know, I never forget one time we probably played like 4 or 5 times, and then we leave the Pits, which was like 11, 12 o'clock game. We get back. He had got a crib in Virginia. As we pulling back into the condos, it's some people outside playing on the outdoor court. He like, yo, let's get one more in. We get out and get another. And it wasn't a bunch of backpacks, a bunch of shoes. You had the shoes you was gonna hoop in. Yeah. You just take them all, put them. You might have your feet stretched out in the car. You tie them back up.
And you at it.
And so everything that he's gotten, I can honestly say, and like you said, man, he deserved it. Yeah, he earned it. Yeah. He worked for it. And when they say at times hard work pay off, that's the true definition would be Kevin Durant.
Yeah, for sure. So you did your thing up Tennessee. So you venture off, because I remember you coming back here. You did we was in a little Kennedy League. And then after that, I remember we having a conversation with you, and you was like, man, I'm trying to do something, man, out there where I'm at. I'm telling you, Spoo, you need to come out there and see what's going on. I'm trying to deal with some people that, you know, some people that's from my school, you know what I'm saying, some alumni and stuff like that. I was listening to you. Then like a few years later, you opened up your own brand and started your own brand. MazeEilte. MazeEilte. So you start up your own brand to help the community and kids to get to the level that you've been to.
Yep. So basically what happened was, you know, right out of college, I was overseas playing. I was in Russia. I was in Belarus. I was in Lithuania, Venezuela. I was playing. And then the last year I was in Cyprus. I was trying to get my cousin Silent Assassin, Jamal, on the team. Okay. He ended up coming home in December and leaving. And I had came back from a tournament, and the owner of the team said, yo, we because you only had 3 Americans on the team at the time. He said, man, Lewis Kennard, we're going to send him home. We're going to sign Jamar. And man, I'm so excited. I go home. I'm like, man, we're going to sign you, man. They're going to give you $5,000 a month. Bro, I told you the plan worked. Yeah. He ain't nowhere near to be fine. I found a letter on my bed just basically like, man, tired of, like I got to go home, take care of some stuff. I feel like I'm living in your shadows. I want to do my own. Mm-hmm. And then, days later, he died. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And that shit, like, when I tell you it killed me, man, he was the closest to me, man. We did everything. Yeah. We grinded, we worked. Yeah. He was better than me. Yeah. Like, when it came to streets and one-on-ones and all of that stuff. Yeah. And I just could actually, with basketball, you got to go to practice, you got to study film. Mm-hmm. And so there were, like, when it came to just pure scoring and pure shooting, man, Silent was the best. Yeah. You know what I mean? He was James Harden before James Harden.
Yeah. So I remember him a little younger. So once I came back home, from my vacation, once I came back home, and I seen him, we were hooping, and he was like, man, damn, this that woo woo. But I remember him as being real young, living across with Joe and them. Yeah. And I remember when he got cut from Suitland, mm-hmm. he started wearing a jersey up there from another school. Like, I go to this school and I'm playing for them, but he was lying the whole time. You remember that? Yeah. You remember that? That's just something I remember from Shawty. And then once I came home, I seen him up the farms, hooping and stuff like that. But basketball, I was past basketball by then.
At that point. So I did that, and then one of my guys that named Scrap, mm-hmm. Larry Rowe from Knoxville. Wow, my last year overseas, he said, "Bro, I got a lot of these kids out here. Would you mind sponsoring uniforms?" I think his program was called Tennessee Elite, and I was like, "Yeah." The following year, he was like, "Yo, can we change the name to Bobby MazeEilte?" And I was like, wow. I'm like, Scrap, I'm not from there. I'm from, right. But he was like, but your name's so big at Tennessee, and it'll help these kids get scholarship opportunities and whatever. And so I said, okay, I agreed, thought about it, did it. And then, after the thing happened with Silent, I decided to come home, and I actually said, I'm going to take a year off. Okay. I got involved with the AAU, go hands-on, start bringing kids over from Africa, mm-hmm. Lithuania, and I never went back. I just had got locked in to that. Couple years later, built a gym. Then the Clover Line Museum, mm-hmm. Hanif Hill, and Muhammad, which is Muhammad's brother, he was working with Under Armour at the time. And I said, yo, I got a team out here. And honestly, I went to Nike, I went to Adidas, went to everywhere. Mm. He the only one that gave me a chance. That's
that's a key pivotal point right there. So that's a lot what the On Switch is about. Having opportunities right there in front of your face. When the guy asks you, let's change the name to Bobby MazeEilte, and you like hesitant. Then at the same time, you like, you know what? This might be ordained for me. Let me just go with it. So a lot of the points that we try to shoot out there to people, don't be afraid of new things happening. If you have your opportunity out there, just go for it and try it. Don't let fear get in the way of your dreams. So we can go back into so after you get from after you start with the Elite, you get some kids from different areas to come out there. Then you're trying to get sponsored by somebody. So how did you get sponsored?
So I met with Hanif Hill, mm-hmm. In Northwest, and I basically told them what I had, and I said, listen, I got the 6'8" kid I brought from Nigeria, 8th grade, and I said, I'm recruiting this top player from Charlotte, North Carolina, top 20 player named Jaden Springer, who, fast forward today, won the championship with the Boston Celtics, but and was one and done out of Tennessee. But I said, I got this kid, and he said, man, you really got it? And I said, yeah. He said, well, we're gonna give you a chance. And so that first deal was huge because he gave me an opportunity to prove myself. And that year, we had to travel to New York, LA. If you can imagine traveling with teams and playing, and I got to pay for all this stuff. Right. And all they did was give us gear that first year, and I rolled the dice, and we went out there to New York that first session. And them guys went 4-0. We were blowing teams out, and it really changed everything. After that year, we signed a 3-year deal back with Under Armour, and throughout that time, I think now we've sent 70 kids got Division I scholarships from our program.
That's amazing.
2 pros from our program with Jaden Springer. Like I said, won the championship last year with the Celtics. T. Higgins just signed $115 million deal with the Bengals this year. And so
with Under Armour? With Under Armour?
No, with the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals. But you know, like I said, we've had guys now come from this program that have made it to college.
T played with y'all?
Man, what?
Yeah.
Man, was amazing. I got some pictures on my man.
T got some game.
Man, jumping out the gym between the legs, shoot the three. He could have went to Clemson. Begged me for him to play, but I'll never forget. He called me, said, "Coach, man, this football too much. I can't do both. I got to pick one. Yeah. I'm gonna go with football."
I told to Josh, and Josh was telling me he played ball before he played football.
Yeah, a lot of guys play both sports. A lot of football coaches like guys that play basketball too because of the agility. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the footwork. Yeah. So that's amazing. So that's a lot what we're talking about, trying to help the youth. You know what I mean? So at the point in time where you at a place where you can help people and you see you help changing their lives, how did that make you feel?
Oh man, it make me feel amazing. I mean, when I get letters from their families or seeing the kids where they at, it's like one of my greatest accomplishments because I've done it already. It's not about me. Right. It's about helping the youth, giving back. You know, when I built my gym, my facility, when we got our facility, and all I could think about was run and shoot and thinking about like, man, these kids now got 24-hour access where if they got things on their mind, we added a study hall, we got an office, they can drink water. And it's nothing like it. Just having a place where, you know, you going through something at home, I'm just go over here and just bounce the ball. You dealing with some things in the street, you know what, man, let me just go over here and before I make, you know,
a bad decision.
I'm gonna go over here.
Is that easy?
Because it's that easy, and so that's one of my biggest accomplishments or things that I feel like I've done is just pulling up, seeing that MazeEilte on the court, seeing that gym, seeing pictures of all the kids on the wall, and just knowing that, man, all I'm trying to do is do with Coach Horace, with Wayne, and do.
No trying. You're doing it.
Yeah, okay, we're doing it.
You're doing it. You don't take trial of it because you're doing it.
You're right. Well, I'm doing what all of those guys have done for me.
The steps that they put in your life, you're doing it.
I'm putting it back.
So I gotta have Coach Horace on here, and we're going to talk to Coach Horace. Like he is like, I don't even know how to explain that guy, man. He amazing, man. And he get it all from his mom. She instilled that in him. Miss Riddick instilled that in him. Like you gotta think, Horace was coaching at like 16. He's coaching 14 years old at 16, and he just never stopped. He changed so many people's lives in that community. I don't think he understands how important he is.
Man, he has no idea. Yeah. What him and his family mean to me, any chance, his wife, even with his sons now, he started playing ball and, you know, he was going through his thing with college and, you know, anytime I could send some, anything I could do, is nothing that they could ask me I couldn't, because I just know not only for myself how important he was to our community and just giving his time. No, he wasn't paying for nothing. Nowadays, I asked a guy to coach, he like, yo, you gonna give me 5,000, 10,000? Like it wasn't about, and I tell people all the time, none of this was about money. Yeah. None of this was about making money. It was about helping. Yeah. And that's where I'm kind of confused, Spook, is where this going. Because I thought that all of those people that was put in our lives, that was there at a young age, boys and girls, I thought it was just like you dedicating your time, you want to give back. I didn't never know that it was about a salary.
So it really is not. It's up for us to change it again, change the narrative, because it's really not about that. It's really about giving back and being able to have some young guys talk about a guy that's 10 years older than us, and we praising him just because of the person he was to us. You know what I mean? So that's what it's really about. You know what I mean? So whatever, my mother might give me a whooping. I'm mad at the time, but afterwards, I'm like, I understand why she did it. I love her more. Let me hug on my mama some more. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. You know what I mean? We go through it with that coach, and he ain't had to say but 2 words to me. You acting like a sucker. Fuck you talking to? Not me. Who? I'm about to fuck her. You know what I mean? Who acting like a sucker? But he knew what to bring out of me, just like he knew how to bring probably stuff out of you. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. We tied into with an organization where we need to be tuning in to the kids, helping the kids out. That's what it's all about. So since you then got the whole organization going on out there, how do you feel about ownership? How big is ownership to you?
Ownership is everything, man. Just equity, ownership. You know, these are things, leverage.
Yeah.
These are things that as a young guy, you know, I didn't really know much about. Even going to college, I mean, they didn't teach me about credit, business credit, trust, where people could protect. Everything that I buy now is in the trust. You know what I mean? You can't take it, you can't put it out. You know what I mean? You know, even with the taxes, people don't realize if you
with
even
the trustee.
Yeah, with the life insurance, even with life insurance, like if you don't have that stuff done right and put it in the trust, they're gonna tax 40% out from the person that who name you put on. And so, say for instance, if I got spooked under me, all of my debt goes to you. If I die and all my money go to you, now that's under you. Yeah. Now it's up to you to take care of all of these different things. And it's just like you learn that ownership, man, is everything. And this is how we become successful as a community. Everybody would say generational wealth. Well, what are you gonna do to get
you build it? How do you build it? You start off with one thing, and as you say, you start off with one thing, and it's a stair step type of mentality.
Yeah, and I was just at, before I came here, I went. I don't know if you're familiar with Perfume Chick, the Shea Butter, where they started in right where We Are One was around Homer. They had the store, and now they blew up worldwide where everybody is wearing their shea butter. And I was just telling the lady, the owner that's grew up, that you are so close to being in every Target, Walmart, and everything. As long as you keep doing your marketing, like it's so good to see me go all the way to LA and see people putting on this shea butter and they buying it and they don't even really realize
where it come from.
You know what I mean? And y'all a family owned business. And all I want to do is see Perfume Chick, what you got to check out, because you got the beard, they got the beard oil, everything like there.
Definitely gonna get with them now. And we're gonna get her on this couch. We gonna get her on the podcast. You know what I mean? So yeah, we definitely gonna tap in. But yeah, so even what's the name, man? Like Kenny. You know, we used to go up there and get our own shirts made upstairs, designed it the way we wanted to. Kenny played a big role in our lives too.
Oh, man. Kenny was, he gave me my first job at We Are One. He gave me a job when I was a student, got me some accountability, you know, taught me how to really talk to people, customer service. And you know, the biggest thing I learned from Kenny, and like you see a lot of business, is how they treat people. And so for him, he was a millionaire at that time. He had guys like Steve Francis, on top of the world. He got all Sam Cassell, Steve Francis, Jay Prince, and Hughes, got all these people wearing this stuff, Master P, and yet he in the store working hard. You know what I mean? Hard. He's in the store talking, you know, to people. They come in, hey, how you doing?
Telling them about new stuff that's coming out.
So, you know, seeing that, when you see somebody that's the owner, grind hard, it lets you know, even in the position I'm in, I don't walk around with my nose up or this, that. Like, I'm grinding. Like, to this day, I still come in with my coach's board. I'm bringing the uniforms in. Like, and I'm, you know, my team, we took a trip to Kansas City. And everybody thought I was going to fly. I rode that bus with them 12 hours. And my whole message was, man, I've done all this. I could do all this. We are all one. We're going to tell stories. We're going to laugh together. But I'm not going to have y'all ride the bus and then me fly. I'm just like y'all. You know what I mean? And I think that really played a big role in them mentally. Like, damn, he really on this bus with us? You know what I mean? Man, my back was hurting, but hey, I did
it out. Grind it out. They grind it out.
Man, grind it out.
Yeah. So we talked about E. We talked about a lot of other people. How did MazeEilte play a big part of your life?
Oh man, Coach Bird was, man, father figure. Just, man, he really helped me become a Division I player. And his coaching style, confidence. He would take me to University of Maryland camp. Me and Chuck, He would drive us up there. He would feed us. He would take me everywhere. You know, he had me look at Chris McCray at a young age. Like, I mean, he was somebody that I really looked up to, the way he carried himself. He always wanted to make sure I had over a 3.0. He would check on me with the classes. You know, he had a great relationship with my mom and communicating with her with what I was doing. But he was a positive role model. He was an example, and to see him still coaching to this day of pull your pants up. You know what I mean? Be respectful. Open the door for all the women, all the elderly people. Like, more than basketball though. Like, he taught me how to be a man, and I respect him so much for it. To this day, man, we talk at least once a week, and I sponsor his high school team with uniforms because it's like no different than him giving his time to me. Anything I can do to get back. And so he's at Douglas, and I'm just so proud of him, and I'm just grateful because he was another piece to that puzzle that helped me become. I mean, that last year at Suitland, I averaged close to 30 and made it to the Capital Classic, the Jordan game. Me and Chuck, like he, none of that doesn't happen without him as a sophomore saying, bro, I know you played JV, man, you gonna come up with these older guys, Spook, Sean, Roland, but you know you gonna learn it, and I'm grateful.
I could definitely attest to that. But see, I didn't spend that much time with him, but he gave me a shot. So, you know, all the other coaches we had, we ain't even gonna put them on. Them clowns. Them niggas ain't even know basketball. You know what I mean? Bird came in there. He even though he came from Central, and we wasn't. My little hood wasn't fooling with them. He put it together. You know what I mean? And he seen something at me. I remember one day we playing and we had practice, and he was like, "Do that again." I did it again. He was like, "Why you don't play like that in the game?" I was like, "Man, I really became about practice more than I came about the game, because when the game, it's late. My time game start, yo. I'm thinking about something else, yo. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, man.
Hey, yo.
I'm thinking about something else, yo. Games at 6, 7 o'clock. Man, it's booming outside. Owe me money, everything. It's crazy. Like, I'm not here no more. But you know, so at the same time, we, you know, that we ain't glorifying that. We just speaking on how things was in our time, and
it's so crazy you say that, because like, you know, me and DT, like I tell his story all the time, because he's the director of player development, and he does all the strength and conditioning at MazeEilte. But I talk about him playing basketball his whole time. Then his senior year, all of a sudden, Coach Lynch get him to play football. He get a scholarship to Temple and make it to the NFL. And
he got his hand down that dirt, because he was playing basketball.
Yeah, the whole
like
time.
Tyrese.
Yeah, the whole time. And then he play his senior year, get a full scholarship. The Temple get, you know what I mean? Then he playing with the Cardinals and Ravens, and I'm like, what? You know what I mean? And me and him talk about the role that Coach Lynch had, and then we talk about like what helped us get this. See, you at that time, I always tell people in high school, you had Spook, you had Lord Dion, you had what's my man, Lord Steve, light skinned Steve, and then you had John and Dukes and D Nail. They had y'all had cars, and y'all would get our cars washed. And so when y'all, it was like everybody else, like we hooping, but we like, yo, man, how's they? Like, man, we gotta get some money like that.
And my fault. I wasn't trying to show y'all the wrong way at all.
No, it wasn't at that time, but it was just like we want, like y'all was pulling up.
See, me, you know, I used to try. I keep y'all away from me though. I did. I take y'all home and stuff. I was like, nah, yeah. You be like, yeah, nah, what you about to do? I'm like, nah, yeah. Nah, you ain't, cause Chuck ass on the chain.
Chuck on the chain.
And I'm like,
he want to shoot them dice.
I'm like, yo, you too big, man.
Then he want to shoot them dice, man.
Your big ass, they gonna see you, man. They know it's you.
Chuck
man.
wanted to go. He wanted to play that high-low, shoot that dice.
And his mother wasn't having it.
Nah, tough.
Yeah, in church and everything. And I was like, nah, man, cause she had my number. I was like, nah.
But you know what it was? But we were young. We didn't know what. You know, we just like, man, come on, let's go. You know what I mean? And like I said, at this time, you want to go live a whole different life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to go live a whole different life that we just know in basketball and school. Oh, this is my man. He cool. Like, man, we gonna work out. But after
totally
that,
different. It was totally different. Yeah, but I get it. But so our message is teaching the youth a better way. Take a chance on yourself, man. I can contest for Bobby. Bobby took a chance on himself with just saying, you know what, run and shoot right here. I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm gonna spend my time here. I'm not gonna try to be the coolest person all the time. I'm gonna lock in, and he locked in, and a lot came from it. So youngins out there, if you feel like this something you want to do, and sports can get you out of the hood.
Oh no, sports get you out of the hood for sure.
And it can get you some good relationships in life.
Get you some good relationships. You go to college, like I met the founder of cellular sales, Verizon, Dish Network, Charlie Ergen, $37 billion, went to the University of Tennessee. Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, his father, Jim Haslam, Pilot Oil Company, gas station, the founder of Garmin GPS, went to Tennessee. These are just some of the people. Larry Pratt, First Savings Mortgage, the largest mortgage lending company in D.C., Maryland, Virginia. He's a Tennessee grad, and the gym I played in, the Pratt Pavilion, is named after him. These are all the people that, I've been able to rub shoulders and elbows
tap in with.
That is, Tennessee guys, Brett Patterson, and all these names of guys that could really help you. But if I would have never went to Tennessee, I would have never known these guys. I would have never got a chance to see how they live, what did they do, what their business decision, how did they get to where they are, and getting their stories. And a lot of their stories they was almost bankrupt. They did 5-6 years of college,
just like ours. They come from the same place we come from. They just grind harder. See, when you grind hard, and then you have information, things don't happen without information. You have to get the right information while you're grinding. If you taking them steps, I'm gonna attest to this. If you whenever I start taking steps and I'm taking them the right way, God always put something right in front of me to help me out even more.
And the number one thing I would say is, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you save. If I make $50 million, but I spend $49,850, then the person that made $300,000 and he only spent $100,000, he has more than me. So although you making this money and you flying, all this stuff is good. Like, man, I've been there, I've done that, but it comes to a point where you realize that in order to make money, you need money.
So your lesson was to them, it's not about how much money you making, how much money you saving. So mine is, it ain't how much money you making, it's about how much money you investing. So I don't want to know how much money I got. I just want to invest it. Every time something come in, I'm pushing it back out because I wanted to come back double.
And that's a great. I mean, it's the same. Like I said, when you get to a level where you have a portfolio, and basically you living off the interest of your money. So what I say is, the more money that I have put away monthly, I'm gonna get this every month for the rest of my life. If I touch my portfolio, it's like we say, don't touch the principal. That's what I always say. They say, what's rule number 1? Never touch the principal. If I touch my principal, it ain't gonna kick out this. You know what I mean? I gotta keep that principal here and now put something on that principal.
I was talking to my man the other day, right? His brother. I was talking to Frank and his little brother. I was just downstairs, right? I was just talking. I was like, you know what? Dang, I ain't got no money to spend. But they're like, nigga, I don't spend nothing but my I look at my stocks and stuff. Whatever I profit, I can spend. If I don't profit nothing, I can't spend nothing. I only can spend my profits. That's what I live off. My profits. I don't touch that principle.
No, you can't. That's rule number 1. Under no circumstances, because if I go into this principle, now it's going to take my monthly living, and I already got it to where it's accustomed to a lifestyle that fit me. So I can't risk that over here. So if this don't take care of it, or I got to invest in some new things, or what we call new money. Now I get some new money, now we can play. I close this deal over here, I do this over here. This is new money. But what I'm saying is the things that take care of me and my family, that'll never be touched. Because the people that's above me, the Jeff Bezos and all that, man, they ain't touch everything that you see them living off of is is that principle.
Yeah, Warren Buffett said it best. If you can't hold an investment for 10 years, you shouldn't hold it for 10 minutes. And we out, man.
Yeah.
We out.
We lit, we live. Good vibes, good vibes. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. We lit, we live. Good vibes, good vibes. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe.